So in the process of becoming a data engaged university, institutional research, we became the empowerment office. And so we worked with people who understood the context around the data in their area. We exposed them to what other data were available. And so institutional researchers don't know all the answers. They need to partner with people who have context. The people who have context need to have data in a form that they can understand it. So there's multiple factors here that are going on. And so part of it is generating the literacy so that people understand data and understand what data mean. And then also having them tell the institutional researcher what questions they want to answer, what data they have, and there's a partnership that goes on there. So part of that engagement is bringing up the skill level of mid-level and senior level managers on campus to understand their own data, understand how to frame questions so that you can have testable hypotheses. That way you can evaluate programs, you can evaluate your efforts to understand that they're being as successful as you think they are.
Data leads so much of the work that we do in the Office of Retention. At any time we are tracking which students are staying, which are choosing to take time off or leave. It helps us be responsive to what we need to change programmatically or maybe in our policies and procedures to better serve students. And many times we use data to inform those sorts of decisions as we're shifting the way that we approach our work. But it's also helping us identify students who need individual support and outreach at our institution so that we as staff in my department in the Office of Retention can reach out to those students individually to check in with them, provide them the support that they need, and also to welcome them back to the university if perhaps they've taken a little time away. It also allows us to look at trends over time so we can identify where some of our challenges might be or opportunities to do better by students. And so we use data every single day, not just to kind of track students and their enrollment and their time at the university, but also to really utilize it to think about what we need to change systematically at the institution to better support the student experience and them continuing their enrollment at our institution so that eventually they can graduate.
With CARE, we're supporting first-gen Pell eligible students, and so those populations provide a lot of opportunity for external funding. And so institutional research has done amazing work finding out, for example, the percentage of first-gen FSU graduates that have gone on to earn a PhD at any institution in the U.S. They've also helped us identify how many first-gen or Pell students are participating in high-impact practices. So that means they've combed through a lot of data sources from academic classes to graduating senior surveys, really any survey that they have access to. They've pulled all that data together to build some really great dashboards for us for our grant writing efforts. One of the most recent features they've actually been able to build out for us is a way to track our scholarships. So through CARE, we do give out grants or scholarships for students for a variety of reasons. And so from a financial management perspective, we can now see how many students have been awarded, how many have been dispersed, and where are we in terms of tracking that budget piece. So that's been a really helpful data piece for them to pull in for us.
Our office has partnered with institutional research most recently to determine whether we are going to have enough seat availability for our second English course that all of our students have to take. And in doing that, we asked them to pull data to determine if our incoming transfer students who have quite a bit of credit could bypass the second English course because they already have 2 English courses and allow there to be more seats for our incoming freshmen. And so when we partnered with institutional research, they were able to pull that data for us and look at historical data to show us that it actually would open up about 5 or 6 sections of ENC 2135, which is our second English course, to our incoming freshmen. And so that's a policy change that we're looking possibly to make, and the data provided by institutional research was what led us to think about that policy decision change.
I always want to make sure the data that I'm pulling is accurate. For example, whether we're working with first generation students or any special population, many times I'm reaching out to the staff to say, hey, we're looking at graduation rates of those students who are in living learning communities, and to be making sure that we're looking at the right student who is still active in that living learning community or did actually complete their first year in the living learning community. So yes, the IR staff are accessible, and it's great to be able to make sure we're using the right data before we make decisions based on it.
We have a committee at FSU called the Demand Analysis Numbers Group, and it's a group of multi areas around the university that get together to talk about our registration process and how many seats we have available in different courses across the university. And through our institutional research group, we are able to look at that in real time and see where we have course capacity issues. So maybe our calculus courses are filling up, and so where do we have space issues? And so we get together and we can address those issues in real time because we see, oh, we don't have enough calculus courses for our students, and so we can talk to the calculus department or the math department and see. And so through that institutional research work, we are able to make changes to our curriculum and try to work ahead of those problems, and we meet on a weekly basis. And so that real-time data is essential to us being able to meet student needs. And so that is incredibly helpful for us. So they are working with us as we go along, and it's not just longitudinal information, it is real-time information that helps us.
To become data engaged is a journey, it's a philosophy, it has to be shared by the senior administration, and someone has to take the role of being the evangelist to share this opportunity with the rest of the campus. And that's what we've been able to do here.